Hello everyone out there, Jabolko Trade here once again. Today I'll be sharing with you my journey on Preply for 113 days so far. It's been worth it. It has its own challenges and I am super happy to be on Preply. My name is Samuel Effiong and you would find me on Preply as Samuel O. So walk with me as I review Preply today and tell you how my journey has been through it all. Alright, so why did you join Preply? I joined Preply because number one, I want to share what I have to people out there. I also joined Preply for the purpose of also having extra income. You know, these days we strive to work remotely, and that is also another reason why I joined Preply. How easy or difficult it was to set up my profile? It was very easy. I must tell you, it was very easy. Just follow the prompts, give them what they need. They would get back to you with feedback, attend to that feedback, and if you're the right candidate, you would be accepted. That's it. So how was your first student? How did your first students come in? So I was on Preply for about a month before I got my very first student, who's a lady from Poland, and it was a thing of joy for me. And when she came in, we started, and the journey was quite immersive, and she liked it. I liked it. She gave me a 5-star rating. I must say that for sure and certainty. And for me, I was pleased to impart my knowledge from myself to another person. And I think even as of right now, Preply has added the badge of a professional to me, and that's a good thing. That is kudos, feathers to my cap. So how many lessons have you taught so far? Like I have told you, I'm 113 days, which is just about a quarter plus, right? And I've gotten just 2 students. Don't also forget that I have an on-site job, which may not permit me to have so many students as it may ought to be, because on my profile I have stated that I am also working. So based on the kind of clients I expect, I will be having a routine, you know, like a relay race today, tomorrow. But so far the two students I've gotten, they've been worth it, and I have stuck with them so far, and it's been a routine to make sure that it hasn't affected my on-site job, and I thank God for that. Student diversity, countries, interests, language, and levels. The good thing for me is that the 2 students that have come my way actually are both from Poland, and it's been great. One is a male, the first was a female, the second is a male, and they were the 2 that actually signed up for trial classes with me. And so far my trial classes, none has gotten back and said I'm not doing it with you. So as they started, they stuck with me, apart from the first lady who had mentioned that she hopes to travel out after 3 weeks. So when she came back, for one reason or the other, we couldn't continue, but she gave me a good 5-star rating, as you may have to find it out on my page if you go there, or maybe I could read what she had to say much later. The flexibility versus discipline required. I just had to mark down some points so that I'll remember. For me, discipline is number 1. I'm always early to my class. I'm always there ahead of time. I do my best to make sure I take this, even though it's a freelancing job, I take it very seriously. I'm committed to whatever I put my hands into, and that's the best that can ever happen. Competing with other tutors, I don't do that. I'm not interested in competing with other tutors. I am interested in imparting knowledge to the students before me, enjoying the moments I see with them, and I also believe that they enjoy me. At least from the feedback, I could know that they are very much comfortable being a student to me. Needing to stand out with your profile and teaching style. Yes, my teaching style is quite unique, and if it weren't so, I don't think they would have loved to continue with me week after week, especially for the second person, because I have told you that I've only had 2 students work with me. I hope others will come. Some try to come in, but they've not actually signed up, so we've never even had anything to take up with. So for the meantime, it's just 2 students, right? Issues like cancellation, time zones, or slow weeks. I don't really have that challenge for now, except I think once or twice when the son to one of my students was actually ill, so he had to cancel, and the other lady had 1 or 2 things to go back then, so she had to cancel. So from my part, I'm hardly canceling it because I try to make sure I'm on top of the game with my on-site job, and I plan these things all out. So how your teaching has improved over time. My teaching has improved greatly, and I try to be on top of my game. One thing I must notice that whenever I'm teaching them, based on the mistakes they make, that informs me on what will be my next lesson. Most of them usually have problems with past tense, right? But I also observe that even in their present continuous tense, they have issues. So as you're teaching them, you're adapting to what you see is the need going on while you're actually in the class. What you've learned about freelancing online. I've learned a lot before now, so I know that when you come into freelancing, take it seriously. That's your job, so focus like a monster and just be good at what you do. Every day do your best to improve, and the sky would be your limit. Financial or professional benefit. Of course, I mentioned earlier that I also came in here for the pay itself, and the pay is quite good. You set your rates as time goes on, but it's always advised by Preply that as you're a beginner, you could start from the basic that they have left there. So when you start from that, as you wish, as you go on, you could go ahead. And let me also note here that please, I'll leave my link in the description. So if you want to sign up to be a tutor, you could use my link. If you want to do any other thing, feel free. My link would be in the description, so you could sign up to be on Preply. If you also want to be a tutor, feel free. From that link, you could navigate your way and get it all done. If you want me to be your tutor, I'll be very well glad to carry on this job, and I'll see you on the other side. So your recommendation, who Preply is good for? Is good for anyone who knows he can teach. Actually, I do not right now have a TEFL certificate, and from what I've seen some persons who have the TEFL certificate, but I think their rating, some of them, their rating is 3.5. I must say, I'm not trying to hype myself so much, but their rating is 3.5. So far, for the 2 persons I've gotten, my rating is 5. It's to the very peak of it. You should understand what I mean. Encouragement for others thinking of joining. Feel free to join, either as a student, either as a tutor. Feel free to join. It's a freelance site, and they are very good. They are not so structured in the sense like Cambly, and there's one other Japanese site. I've forgotten the name now. Something Nomad. I've forgotten their site. They're not so structured. They want you to learn the way the student wants it. So you're actually driven by how the student wants it. So I'm going to be looking at my profile to look at my insights, and then give you some data based on what I have here. So like I had said, I'm 113 days old, a quarter plus. So I have had 35 lessons so far. I won't tell you my earnings for now. So for my weekly lessons, I am 63%. I should be aiming for 75%, but don't forget that I just have 2 students, like I mentioned. So replies within 24 hours, they say I should aim for 90%. I've gotten that 100%. Actually, I reply within 2 hours from wherever they message me from. I reply within 2 hours. My trial follow-ups is 100%. And my average rating, I told you earlier, is 5.0. So maybe I could use this moment to just read out what was given to me on my rating. So Samuel is extremely professional and dedicated. I greatly appreciate the patience with which he approaches my mistakes and explains in an accessible way how to correctly use new words. I appreciate that he often sends materials in advance, allowing me to easily follow the topic and be an active participant in the lessons. I feel that with each week, my language learning is significantly improving. I wholeheartedly recommend studying with this tutor. That's from one of my students, the male student actually, and I replied him, "This is very well appreciated. In no mean terms, we'll keep up the great work with you and others to come. Thanks." So from the very first lady who was my student, Samuel is a very dedicated teacher. He always takes the time to explain new words clearly. I think that's a pattern, even with the other person, which helps me understand and remember them better. He also corrects my pronunciation in a kind and helpful way. Thanks to him, I'm building my confidence in speaking English. I've noticed that my vocabulary is growing every week. He is always punctual and respects our time. What I really appreciate is his great sense of humor, which makes the lesson fun and engaging. He creates a positive and motivating learning atmosphere. So I replied her that this is so touching. Thanks a lot to you. I appreciate your candor, and I am here because of you. So this has been my review that was given to me, and 5.0 ratings, that's what I got. So my profile score is 83%. I'm to aim for 90 on their site, but I got 83. I think I'm okay with that. So on the part of Preply, I think what the review I also have to give to them, like feedback, is that they keep saying there that I am currently having 2 students, but right now I have 1 student, noting earlier that the other person had, cancelled her subscription. I told you that she would be traveling, and when she came back, for one reason or the other, she had to cancel. So on the side, it still says that I'm currently having 2 students. Maybe if they want to choose, rephrase that term, they could say that I have taught 2 students so far. They could look for another language to put there, but not currently with 2 students, because the other person is no longer there, right? So that's for this. So far I've taught 21.5 hours, so 35 lessons taught. I mentioned that earlier, and I'm 113 days. Total students 2, which is correct, right? And this is great. So today is great for me, and I thought to mention this. I'm just looking at my data, my insights, just to see what I could say. And today online, in terms of Preply, we started our conference online, which is also a great thing. Their customer service, I must also tell you that they are very, very top notch. They're very, very good at what they do. They respond very quickly and swiftly, and they handle issues. I generally speak to them through Facebook, but on the app itself, there's a place you could reach customer support. But since I chose Facebook, I've just been sticking there, and it's been working for me. And they are always replying and giving you feedback for whatever you may need. So this is my review. Feel free. My link will be in the description. I'll also add another link in case you want to go into content creation, and I will recommend vidIQ for you should you want to be a content creator. It would help you analyze data and know what topics you should go on. If you're considering being a student with me, my link is also there. I'll be glad to have you around with me, and we would walk this path together, and would make sure you would, in the long run and the shortest possible time, see a better improvement in what you do. Thank you so much. Share this video to your friends and loved ones. See you sometime soon. Cheers.